I'm Teresa, and I'm a nurse practitioner, trained as a family practice nurse practitioner, but have studied functional medicine. And while I was doing that, silly me, I also decided to go ahead and get certified as a traditional naturopath. And in addition to that, I have training in functional medicine through the Institute of Functional Medicine.
How long have you been in practice for?
I was a registered nurse for 20 years, and I became a nurse practitioner 2.5 years ago. And so I've been in practice as a nurse practitioner for a little over a year and a half.
What was most frustrating for you before the 6-week you're speaking about mentorship?
Well, the most frustrating thing was not working in my own practice, not having the autonomy to make decisions for myself and kind of do the things that I wanted. And when I started the mentorship, I had begun the process of starting my own practice. So I think the most frustrating thing is just like, where to start? What do I do? There's so many things and how to prioritize. That was really my biggest thing.
How were you feeling about that back then?
Really overwhelmed. I just saw the list of things to do as being so long. And so I just wasn't, I tried to take things one day at a time and one thing at a time, can't eat the elephant all in one bite kind of thing, but it still felt very overwhelming. I felt I had some direction. I kind of knew a little bit of what I wanted to do, but it was still challenging.
What was a turning point moment when you felt like, okay, I'm gonna do something about this?
The turning point was as I started to get into the woods with it, everything I needed to do. I thought I probably need a little bit of help here. I probably need to get some direction and have somebody who knows a little bit more than I do to help me out.
What's changed for you that you're super excited about?
Super excited that I'm almost done with the whole process. I literally started the 6-figure mentorship when I had given notice and right when I was first starting to develop my game plan for starting my own practice. And I'm 3 weeks away from launching that. So the most exciting thing for me is that it's almost all this hard work is almost over. Not that it's not going to be hard work after that, but it's like all the things that you only have to do once to lay the groundwork, and then you're good. That's really exciting. And then the potential to just be able to take what I learned in the mentorship and be able to implement it. I've been working full time and doing all this other stuff too. So that's been a little bit challenging, kind of not enough hours in the day some days.
And tell us a little bit about your services and what you charge as well.
So the last year and a half, I've been working in a clinic where I really honed in on, I knew a lot about what I do, but I really honed in on it in the last year and a half, specializing in really cellular detoxification, helping to identify things that are creating inflammation in the body. Oftentimes those lead to the chronic conditions, the autoimmune, some of the GI issues, everything, is kind of related to the gut. So I deal a lot with chronic fatigue, chronic pain, chronic autoimmune, that kind of thing, and specialize in cellular detoxification. The other thing that I also do, which is a huge component of what I do, is I'm certified in neuroemotional technique, which is a mind-body technique that's been scientifically researched and proven to be really effective at releasing stress that we hold in the body, releasing it not only emotionally, but also having an effect in the brain so that there's actually neuropeptide changes in the brain. So it helps to release the body from those stresses that we hold on to, that we feel sometimes as physical symptoms. So that's a huge component of what I do too. And what I charge for right now, as a new office, eventually I want to develop packages and programs. But right now it's by the hour. My first 2 appointments as a brand new patient, it's $2,500 for a total of 90 and then 60 minutes. And then after that, it'll be charged at $375 an hour for now.
What do you like about the idea of speaking or with attracting provider referrals?
I like the idea of kind of getting the message out there. There's in my county alone, there aren't that many functional medicine providers. There are more now than what there were. And, there's one that's actually opened a 4th office, which is fantastic because the amount of people who are sick and need us far outnumber those of us who are able to do this. So the idea of being able to speak and share what I have to offer so that I can impact more people, it's really nice. And being able to do it in a group setting, I always feel like one-on-one is great and effective, but I like to have more reach. And I feel like that has more reach than just one-on-one.
What are some things in terms of in the mentorship that has really helped you?
One of my favorite things that we worked on was the speaker one sheet. I had designed business cards and things like that, but didn't have anything really outlined for being able to go and get speaking engagements. I knew that that was something I wanted to do. So that was one of the, that's sort of like your signature calling card. So it kind of puts your best foot forward and gives a bigger picture of who you are and what you know and what you have to offer than just handing someone a business card. So I really liked that part of it. And another thing that we did that was really a favorite, I really like the immersion days. I love the days that we got to meet as a group and kind of just do some of the nuts and bolts together and use each other as sounding boards in the breakout rooms. I really appreciated that a lot.
What was it like to have done for you templates and scripts?
Oh, great. It was awesome. In fact, I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface of the potential that they hold. I literally have a 3-ring notebook that's sitting to my left that is just there as a resource and a reference to be able to use down the line, just to be able to, you offered so many different things, whether it's the email templates or what to say in my intro and closing of my speech, or just what to say when you're calling to set up your time. There was just so many things that were really helpful. One that I really liked was figuring out, how to do your conversion rate and what you want, how many you should speaking engagements you should have. That was kind of really helpful too, to kind of reverse engineer the things that I need to do to get in place,
Awesome. And what would you say to someone who might have a first impression of like, oh, but templates I don't like scripts and I won't be able to be me. So what would you say to that?
Why reinvent the wheel, honey? Yeah, everything is really just, it's an outline. So it's very doable to make it your own. You're still going to use your own words. You're just going to frame it in a way that's smarter, that's been really thoughtfully, so that you're hitting the hot buttons and the things that really draw people in and engage them. So I think I like to work smart, not hard. So I feel like that's what they do.
What do you end up enjoying the most about the 6-figure speaking makeover mentorship experience?
There are so many things. The thing I liked the most was just the collaboration with other providers. I really liked, we had a nice mix of different types of providers, and I really appreciated, I'm still, in contact 2 or 3 of them that we, text each other and keep in touch. And then in the weekend sessions, we were able to meet with even more who were involved in the Introverted Visionary, different projects. So a program. So I like the collaboration. I like the networking, and I like having others as a sounding board.
What would you say as far as this experience? How has this been different from other business trainings that you've done in the past?
Oh gosh, let's see. Well, the first thing, one of the things that attracted me was that it was for introverts, because I did 2 other mentorships that they weren't necessarily specifically directed to that audience. And so it often felt overwhelming. I have a really dear friend that I met in one of those mentorships. She's so extroverted. And so for her, it was great. For me, it was just kind of energetically a little overwhelming. And so I really appreciated that we resonated in this body of people that were together, because you do target those of us who live in our nice, quiet world. So,
yes, it's nice to be surrounded by other introverted visionaries too. So yes. How do you feel like this mentorship has helped you with either gaining more confidence in reaching out to providers or getting booked and that kind of?
Having the confidence to have a voice in this arena was something that I kind of was lacking. And I feel like this helped me to grow in my confidence that I do have something that's worth saying and that's worth for others, that I could say it in a way that they would listen.
What are you most excited about with your looking ahead at your practice? What's your vision?
My vision is I already have 100 patients, just because the circumstances surrounding the office that I'm leaving, they are restructuring. So it wasn't something that everybody could fit into. So thank goodness it was just the right timing. I already have people, I'm having trouble keeping up with all the emails and phone calls because there's so many people that have reached out to me in the last 3 weeks. So I'm really excited. I actually have my first appointment tomorrow for somebody who was referred to me completely out of the blue to do neuroemotional technique. So I'm super excited about that.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited.
And what's your vision for your practice? Like your biggest, boldest vision?
So I have a goal to triple the amount of patients that I have. So I'd like to have, 300 patients so that I have enough revenue that I can take time off. I worked so hard in the last 5 years between school and work. We haven't really had a vacation that was more than just driving to a friend's house to spend the night. So I would like to be able to financially get to a place where I can afford to take some time off. And my best friend lives in New Zealand and my daughter lives in Alaska. So the two of them are begging me to come and see them. So that's my goal for this year is to do
Yes.
that.
Because you have kids, you have grandkids too.
Yeah, 5 kids. And I just had my 9th grandson was born on the day before Thanksgiving. So
Oh, so sweet.
yeah. So, and 4 of my grandkids live in Alaska. My son-in-law's in the Air Force. So it was easier to see them when they lived in North Carolina. I could get in the car and drive. And now that they're so far away, that's a little bit more challenging. So
Yes, it'll be nice to, as you have a virtual practice, to be able to travel.
yeah, for sure. One of the times that I went to see her, I actually did telemedicine visits. This is when they still lived in I guess they were living in Oklahoma at the time. And I did my practice, had my visits in one of the bedrooms. I just told my grandkids, you got to play outside, and keep it quiet. So my patients are really understanding. They don't mind. Like my cat climbs up behind me all the time and they think it's cute, so.
Yes, the joys of having a virtual practice.
Yeah.
If you knew then what you know now, what advice would you give?
Golly, I would say, I know this sounds so like a canned answer, but because I've heard so many people say it, just do it. Like it's okay to think about things, but usually your first instinct or your first impression, what we call our gut instinct, it's because our microbiome actually it's a brain, it's our third brain. And usually that gut instinct is pretty good at telling you the right things to do or the wrong things to do. And if you have a really good sense that this is going to be beneficial, then just, then do it, find a way to make it happen. Even if after you sleep on it, you're like, I don't know, just do it.
What would you say to someone who might be on the fence?
I would say, really consider, for me, I'm always pro and con, and I would consider the ads, to really outweigh the pluses really outweigh the minuses, and the return on investment is really, I don't know that you can put a value on it, because sometimes the things that, like I said, some of the things that I appreciated the most were the relationships. So how do you put a monetary value on that? I'm going to have, one of them is a pharmacist that I contact, and one of them is a physiotherapist. And then, one of them does a Qigong instructor, and we talk, so how do you put a value on that, the relationship things? So it's invaluable. So I would say just, make it happen and do it. It's worth it.
So happy that you took the time to be here and sharing your experience and exciting times ahead as you are starting this practice and having it be busy. You're in a place where there aren't as many functional medicine practitioners in the area. So it's so nice to bring that to the area, and you have that expanded reach too beyond your location. So that's super exciting. So
super. Even I had, believe it or not, my phone rang this morning. It was somebody from Australia. So that's how far my reach is, completely around the world. So I am just so grateful.
So awesome. So fun. Thank you so much again for taking the time to be here today.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for everything that you did. You've just been a joy.
Oh, thank you. And for those of you who are at a place where you're a plateau in your practice and you would just love to be helping more people without having to worry about where to find patients, or you're in a place where you're already busy, you would love to have the practice run more without you, then feel free to go to introvertedvisionary.com. Click on the button there, book a chat with us, and see how we can help you grow your practice faster and with more ease and flow too. So thank you again for being here.